All right, man. It is time once again for the best day of the week. Well, best day of the week, best time of the night, whatever you want to call it. What's that, Lionel?
Man, it is time for this week's TNT interrupting episode of Off the Top Rope.
Hey, no, nobody taking a day off today.
I feel so bad for that guy, man. We will talk about it later. We I guess we kind of have to, right? We don't have a choice.
Yeah.
We have to talk about it.
We kind of have to.
Yeah. But first, we have our normal segment before we talk about AEW Dynamite and Collision. Mm-hmm. This time, we're going to take a little bit of time to talk about this year's Best of Super Juniors in New Japan. BOSJ.
Yeah, buddy.
So just before we get started, this is going to have spoilers for up to May 18th. I forgot what day it was. Today's matches. So if you have not watched Best of Super Juniors yet and you want to try to catch up, skip forward to our AEW section. We have timestamps on the YouTube channel. So definitely just skip forward and you can get to the review. But now we have to talk about Best of Super Juniors. Oh boy, where to start? This feels like a very different tournament than the last couple years.
Mm-hmm.
We'll start with A Block because A Block is very jam-packed right now because we have 5 people at 6 points and 5 people at 4 points. It is very crowded up on the A Block side. And it actually might be surprising for the people who are on top.
Yeah.
Kushida, Master Wato, Kosei Fujita, Robbie X, and Dragon Dia are all tied for 6 points with 4 matches left.
Huh.
Which means Ninja Mac, Hiromu Takahashi, Francesco Akira, Clark Connors, and Kanemaru are all tied for 4.
Damn.
Hiromu lost 3 straight.
That's actually surprising to me.
This has been a crazy term, I'm telling you. Before we get into that, I do want to talk about my matches of the tournament. Just so, because I don't think, Proffitt, you haven't got the chance to watch all these yet, right?
No, not yet.
So I'm going to give you a match of the tournament, and then we will go back to talk about individuals, because this is very interesting.
Nice.
Night 1, I think my favorite match was probably Kosei Fujita versus Francesco Akira. A very good one. Not really the main event, but it was a very good. 2 young talents really going at it. I want Fujita to win the tournament. That's my personal pick. Night 2, the match that I suggest everyone to watch, Taguchi versus Ishimori. It was a very good match. We had Big Match Taguchi out there doing his thing. It was very fantastic. But there were a lot of really good ones. Like Kevin Knight versus Mao was also really good. The viral sensation of Ninja Mac versus Robbie X. This was the clip on this show that went completely insane when he flipped out of the ring and did all the backflips. That was the second night of Best Super Juniors. So if you want to watch that match, you definitely could. It was pretty good, but if you want to see like the highlight, that 70 million viewed clip, night 2. Night 3, we got into like both blocks. Everyone was wrestling. There were a lot of really good matches on this one, but I think I had to pick 2. It's the semi-main event and the main event. Semi-main event was El Desperado versus Nick Wayne, and the main event was Hiromu Takahashi versus Kosei Fujita. Both fantastic matches, but this is a card. This is a night where you kind of want to watch the whole thing, because this was a crazy night where all like Ishimori, El Desperado, and Hiromu all lost the same night. So the big 3 in junior heavyweight lost, which was insane.
Yeah, that is pretty crazy.
Night 4, Hiromu versus Francesco Akira was a really good one. Let's see. What else was really good? Robbie Eagles and Nick Wayne was also really good. And then, of course, the main event. Or not, it wasn't the main event. Ishimori versus Despy was also really good. Another really good night of matches. From 2 days ago, probably one of my favorite matches of the entire tournament was El Desperado versus Mao. But we also got Kevin Knight and Nick Wayne here, where Kevin Knight got his first win of the Best Super Juniors, which was crazy. This was also Nick Wayne's first loss. And then we had a shoot style match between Kushida and Kosei Fujita. Like they came out there. Fujita came out with no shoes, no socks. Kushida came out normally. He took off his shoes and socks, and they started just grappling for 10 minutes. It was really good. And then the show that happened on the day that we're recording, we had Hiromu versus Clark Connors was a really good one. Of course, Robbie Eagles versus Taichi Zamori was going to be great. Kushida versus Dragon Dia I really liked. What was another one that I really liked? I really liked Nick Wayne versus Taguchi was another really good one. Like, there were a lot of really good matches throughout this entire section so far.
Mm-hmm.
I would suggest watching all of them because I'm insane. But really, if you want to stick with the matches that I talked about, you're good.
Yeah.
I think I'm forgetting. Oh, I'm forgetting one from yesterday's, from the 17th. Taguchi versus Yo. Because that clip kind of went viral where New Japan was using the rope as a sensor because Taguchi's ass was just all out.
God.
It's another really good one. You have any questions, comments before we get into actual blocks and people and all that good stuff?
No. I think, like, so far it sounds like this Best of Super Juniors is one to watch.
It is. It's been a really good tournament.
Because the last time I watched, let's see, all of the Best of Super Juniors, the last Best of Super Juniors I've watched was the 90, I think it was 95.
Oof.
Best of Super Juniors, but let me tell you, that all-star cast in the 95 one.
Mm-hmm.
SEMA, CIMA, yeah, SEMA, Chris Benoit, Eddie Guerrero, the Great Sasuke, Ultimo Dragon. What else was in it? There was a few more in it, but that was a pretty insane one.
Legends.
Yeah, just all legends in that in one tournament.
I wish we can say that this Best of Super might be that. I don't know. But I can tell you that this feels like another turning point for New Japan. I feel like New Japan really feels like they know they have to start pushing these younger talents.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why I'm gonna touch on a few people in A Block and B Block specifically, and then we can move on to AEW instead of trying to talk about everybody.
Yeah.
First, I want to talk about Kosei Fujita. Kosei Fujita, he's my pick to win the tournament. He's a lot of people's pick to win the tournament. Japanese young punk, very, very good wrestler. He has only lost so far to Robbie X and Kushida.
Mm-hmm.
But he's already beaten Hiromu. He's beaten Akira. And he's beaten Master Wato. So he's doing really good in this Best of Super Juniors. Like I said, he's my pick. I fully expect him to win. And I fully expect him to beat El Desperado at Dominion. If they do the match there, I think they're going to probably do it there. We'll see. Another young punk that's been doing really well, but is kind of lagging a little bit, Francesco Akira. He also was able to beat Hiromu, which is, I'm telling you, this is a new era. Hiromu's lost to basically everybody. Honestly, I think he's only beaten... He beat Kushida, and he beat Clark today.
Yeah.
And that's really it. But Akira, he is out there with a lot of fire right now. He is doing... probably, again, his best work in New Japan so far. And this is after Jeff Cobb leaving. This is after, like, a lot of people from United Empire leaving.
Mm-hmm. Breakout
performance from Francesco Akira also. Who else has been kind of breaking out? Clark Connors and Robbie X have also been breaking out. Robbie X surprisingly has 6 points. Robbie X is the replacement for Bushi. Again, very surprisingly has 6 points. He did lose to Hiromu. But he did beat Kushida, Akane Maru, and Kosei Fujita. Robbie has a potential to get into the finals, but I doubt it. And there's no semifinals this time, so it's just you got to have the most points or the best tiebreakers, and that's how you move on. It's kind of rough for a lot of people right now. That's why A Block is so interesting, because everyone is at 4 or 6 points.
Oh, that's kind of wild, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, one of the other wild things is Akira is still wrestling.
What do you mean?
Maybe I got it wrong, but this is the same Akira from NWO Japan, right?
No. Young Buck, Francesco Akira.
Oh, okay, Francesco Akira. Okay.
Yeah, Italian, Nova Fireball. I think he's like 23 or something ridiculous. No, 25. I think it's 25.
Oh, okay. He was on, what was it? Wrestle Kingdom Night 1.
Yes.
Yeah.
You've for sure seen him before.
Yeah, I've seen him before, yeah.
I think you would actually like him if you actually like got to watch him wrestle some of these matches in the Super Juniors. He's really good. Very, very good. He flies around a little bit, but very grounded. Just fantastic wrestler overall, I think. Who else do I want to talk about in A Block? I guess the last one is the viral sensation Ninja Mac. Ninja Mac was on ESPN. He apparently Pat McAfee shouted him out on the Pat McAfee show. Also, so now because Pat McAfee shouted him out, Ninja Mac also shouted out Pat McAfee on yesterday's show, I believe. So yeah, we don't know what's going on there. But he has won a couple matches, but it was against Kanemaru and Robbie X. So we'll see where that goes.
Well, people are immediately like, WWE, get him. It's like, ugh. Yeah, go for it, Ninja Mac.
Yeah, good luck. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Don't ruin yourself.
Yeah, don't do that. But like I said, A block is kind of stacked. Everyone's kind of where they are right now. There's no like actual block leader in block A, but you have like Hiromu, who's like not doing as well as everyone thought he would do. Right, Dragon Dia is doing really well. Clark Connors is also doing really well. He's at 4 points. He didn't beat Hiromu, but he's been doing like some of his best work also in his best Super Juniors also. But then when you switch over to B block is a completely different story because we have El Desperado, Taguchi, surprisingly Taguchi, and Teton at 6 points. Nick Wayne at 8 points.
Wow.
And then Yo, Kevin Knight, Robbie Eagles, Taiji Jimori, Sho, and Mao at 4 points.
Okay.
Nick Wayne is 4-1. The only person he's lost to is Kevin Knight. He's just looking like a sensation right now.
He's showing out.
He's showing out. Like, he has some weird matches left. He still has to wrestle. Nick Wayne has to still wrestle Yo, Teton. He still has to wrestle Taiji Izumori. But the fact that he's already beaten El Desperado should tell you what they think about him. And it was also early. It was like, that was like night 3, I think.
Yeah.
So Nick Wayne has already pinned the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion, looking like a stud out there, by the way. But he's gonna have his fall from grace. This happens. Same thing happened to, oh my god, I forgot his name now. It's gone. In the G1. Takeshita.
Okay.
Takeshita did really well at the early part of the G1, then lost a couple, and then kind of just slid down and was not able to make the finals. So we'll probably see something pretty similar. Since there are no semifinals, there's no playoffs this time. It's just the highest block winner of A and highest block winner of B wrestles each other in the finals. So we'll see who it is. It's definitely hard to tell who's going to be winning right now.
Yeah. So realistically, he loses the next 3.
He'll probably lose to Yo for sure. I'm guessing he'll lose to Ishimori because I don't think he's beating 2 of the big 3. I don't think he's beating Desperado and Taiji Ishimori. That would be insane if Nick Wayne was able to do that.
Yeah. The thing I do notice, though, is Nick Wayne's move is being stolen by Island Angels, but, that's the other thing, too.
Well, he did the same thing to Kenny, right? So, yeah he still moves the people that are on top.
Yeah, and he just stays at the bottom. But, yeah, that's here nor there.
Yeah, and what can you do, right? You can do. Another person I want to talk about really quickly is Kevin Knight. We gotta talk about the AEW folks, right? We kind of have to. Kevin Knight dropped his first 3 pretty quickly. Like, he lost to Mao, he lost to Yo, and he lost to Robbie Eagles. But he was able to beat Nick Wayne to give Nick Wayne his first loss of the tournament. And he was able to beat Teton today. Kevin Knight is starting to pick back up. I was actually kind of worried about him at first. Made him drop his first 3. That kind of sucks. But he's back in the hunt now. Like everyone is. There's no one that's like actually out right now.
Yeah, unless somebody that's like closer to the bottom loses their next one. That'll make them pretty much.
Like Nick Wayne being at 8 is kind of scary for a lot of people. Nick Wayne probably is not going to win another one. He's probably going to stick with 8 or maybe win one more, but right. I don't see him winning anymore. I don't think.
Maybe take second.
Might take second. The person who I think is taking B block is a surprise to me, and I think New Japan right now will be okay with doing this. It's Mao.
Okay.
DDT's Mao. I haven't really got to watch him a lot. I just started watching him, and Mao is incredible. His match with El Desperado yesterday, so far as the match of the tournament.
Nice.
It was DDT. It was hardcore, and it was just professional. It was like fantastic. I'm gonna have to watch more of Mao after this. I need to sit down and watch more DDT. But Mao has been doing great. He also had a really funny match with Yo today, and then he had a really good one with Teton. He had a really good one with Kevin Knight and Taiji Izumori. He's had really good matches. Like, it's been really great to see, like, the outsiders, quote unquote, doing their things like Dragon Dia and everyone from AEW. All right, one more before I'm done yapping. Taguchi.
Okay. Big
match Taguchi. 6 points. Surprisingly, we had to see his ass, of course, because it's Taguchi. But a moment that I think should be a lot more viral, a lot of people are talking about, is New Japan's camera work and how they used the bottom rope as a sensor So even when Taguchi was like running the ropes with his ass out, you couldn't see anything. Like, it was just incredible. Like, New Japan continues to have the best camera work of any promotion ever. So it's just really good. Taguchi also being serious and having 6 points and being up there in the top of the B block right now is also interesting to see. I don't think he's going to make the finals, but it's nice to see him just not losing all the time.
Yeah.
There is a lot more that's going on in the Best Super Juniors, but I have yapped enough. We get some more shows tomorrow, so we'll probably talk about this again once we're near the finals. But if you're not watching Best Super Juniors, you should. Very good time.
Yeah, it sounds pretty awesome.
That's all for me. That's my New Japan yap. We're done.
It's good to get some New Japan in there.
Yeah, man. It's a good tournament.
So, from here, we go on to that good old episode of some AEW Dynamite.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, man, the way they started off the show, I don't know. It was pay-per-view level match at the beginning of the damn show.
It was ridiculous.
Will Ospreay and Hangman Page versus Takeshita and Josh Alexander. That could headline any pay-per-view. Easy.
Oh, yeah.
And we got it at the beginning of the damn show. And they got 30 minutes. I was looking at because I was taking my notes today, I was looking at I scrolled to the end of it because I had some weird notes when I wrote it down.
Uh-huh.
How the finish was. And I was like, hold on, let me go back and see the finish again. But that match was literally like, I think it was like 25-something minutes at the beginning of the show.
Yeah, that sounds about right. It went on a lot longer than I thought it was, but it was a fantastic time the entire time.
Oh, yeah. No, I would say anybody that, if you need one match that night, well, this is one of 2 matches to watch of the night, but yeah, for sure, just one. You only have time for one match, watch this one.
Mm-hmm.
This one's pretty awesome. But, yeah, man, like, this match was hard hitting, and it went, for as long as it started off, like, fast. And then, because, like, right in the beginning, I think we had, it was like Ospreay and Takeshita right in the beginning. They were knocking the shit out of each other, like, from the start. And, there was a few times that Takeshita knocked down Ospreay, and Ospreay just kept popping back up. He just wouldn't quit. Couldn't quit. And then, the Don Callis family went to work. They got Ospreay in the corner, and they started beating the shit out of him. Him and Josh Alexander started taking turns. There was one point where when Alexander got tagged in, Hangman was like, yo, tag me in. And fucking Ospreay just completely ignored him and just went on to wrestling Josh Alexander. And at that point, I was like, uh-oh, that might be a mistake. If they lose, that's the reason why. But yeah, it didn't happen like that. So a little bit after, there was some time that went by. And Ospreay, he eventually, he finally tags Hangman. Hangman, of course, goes crazy, knocking everybody out. He hit a big-ass Death Valley driver on Takeshita, which I'm still saying he has, like, one of the best Death Valley drivers. He actually does. Hangman also tried to do a sliding lariat. Takeshita, like, dodges out of the way. They started exchanging blows after that. Takeshita and Hangman did. Hangman got the best of it, hit him with the pop-up powerbomb, got a 2 count, and, while they were up, Ospreay was like, yeah, let me in there, bruv. It's like, what? And then, Hangman tags him in reluctantly. Yeah, there was a lot more that happened, like, right after this point. Like, there was a lot of near falls. There was, like, one point where Josh Alexander, he hits a, Northern Light suplex on Hangman, and he got ankle locked. There was a whole lot of stuff that happened, but towards the end here, there was like a little sequence that happened. He got back in the ring. Takeshita got control again. He started bouncing Ospreay off the rope. He had a beautiful Blue Thunder Bomb, and then he did a Brain Buster. And I was like, oh shit, they might lose this. Josh Alexander and Takeshita, they were lining both of them up for a ripcord elbow, and that didn't happen. Ospreay, he ended up hitting 2 Oz cutters, a double Oz cutter. And we have the end of the match, which was Ospreay and Hangman hitting a buckshot lariat and hidden blade combo on Josh Alexander to get the win. Such a fun match, man. And at the end, Don Callis' family tried to beat them down, and Hangman and Ospreay, they banded together, beat the crap out of both of them, and got them out of the ring, and they got in each other's faces again. And Ospreay eventually rolled out and started walking away.
So that means that they could coexist, even for a little bit.
For a little bit.
They did it. They beat the curse.
For now.
For now.
Don't let them tag up again, though. They might not beat it the second time.
Oh no. I think now that Double or Nothing is in what we put this up on Monday. Since Double or Nothing is in 6 days now.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not tagging no more. They about to get into each other's faces. Something's about to happen on Dynamite that's gonna be crazy, and then we get to the match where I hope everyone wins.
Yeah, we'll see.
I still don't know who I want to win that match. I flip flop every 30 minutes now at this point. Well, I want both of them to be world champion. I want both of them, to be honest.
Yeah, me too. But I'm gonna make Hangman fans angry at me, just because I can. I'm going Ospreay, baby. That's where we're going.
They're gonna get us. They're finally gonna come after us.
Shit, they were probably asleep right now, and they just woke up. They felt a disturbance.
Let me check Blue Sky right now just to be safe. No, I'm kidding. No, we're good. We're good.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going. You know what? It's like, you've seen the beginning of those little college football where they all pick and they're like say like they'd be in like Alabama, and it's like Alabama and like Oklahoma going at it, and they're doing their picks right there.
Oh yeah, hell yeah, the curse picks. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing that shit right now. I'm picking Ospreay.
I don't know. I wouldn't mind either one, which is very nice to say. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, of course I wouldn't mind Hangman. Who doesn't love the hanger? But me, I'm picking the aerial assassin that's going to go in there. He's going to barely beat Hangman Adam Page. And then he's going to finally assassinate the so-called self-claimed king, Jon Moxley.
I just had a thought, but I'm going to hold on to this thought until we get to the end of Dynamite.
Okay.
Because it has to do with anarchy in the arena. And I'll save it there.
Okay. So, after that match, we had pretty awesome video package hyping up the cage match for the night. And then we had Top Flight with Layla Gray interview with Renee. Top Flight, of course, they're pissed off that MJF beat the hell out of them. So, I don't know what the hell, what's his name was saying, Dante Martin was saying. He got fired up, and I couldn't understand what the fuck he was saying, so.
Bro, he was just yelling.
He was talking some shit, and I was like, I wish I could understand so I can dig it too, but I don't dig this. So, they were talking. Dustin and Sammy show up. They give them a little pep talk, trying to, pump them up for their match, saying it's not impossible. But when they leave, you could hear Dustin asking Sammy, do they actually have a chance? Like at the end of that. And, once we get to that match, you guys already know the answer.
The people who hurt people, hurt people.
Yeah, it's pretty much like a 5-minute match. We'll just say that.
Yeah. I'm gonna crash out. Fucking Dustin and Sammy. I'm a hold on to it. We talked about it before the podcast. I'm gonna wait till later to crash out.
Okay.
Why are they there? Why?
To get hurt.
Would prefer to anyone else.
Let's see, so right after that, we have Ricochet versus Zach Gowen. You know what? For what this match was, it was fun.
You're about to talk about it. I really, really enjoyed this match. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a ton of fun, man. Ricochet comes out he came in a dickhead and comes out the biggest asshole in wrestling. It is great.
This is Ricochet might be like my favorite heel to boo because he has no redeeming qualities. He's just an asshole, and it's perfect.
Yeah. Somebody finally let him do his thing.
He had it in him. Sometimes he is a fucking douche. Like Ricochet sucks, man. My God,
his character is a piece of shit.
It is. Like he is, and I love every second of it.
Yeah, it's great. This match, yeah, like I said, this match was pretty fun. There were some like cool moments in the match where, towards the end, Zach Gowen he hopped up there and did that moonsault. I was like, God damn, I forgot he could do that.
He still got it, bro.
He still got it. He did that moonsault. It was a great looking moonsault too. But of course, this was the end. Ricochet got out of the way, hits him with the spirit gun, and Ricochet pins him for the 1-2-3. But yeah, most of this match was Ricochet just beating on Zach Gowen, and Gowen like landing some like great stuff, and landing that he do the one-legged drop kick, whole bunch of other things, man. I like if you guys doubted this match, don't. It was a fun match, and for all the people out there, because I saw you assholes out there saying like, "Oh, why is this match on the card? Why is it even on TV?" You guys suck. This match was good enough to be on TV. It was great.
It was fun. Plus, Zach Allen's been wrestling longer than some of those people who are complaining have been alive.
Yeah.
Y'all can say what you want. Zach Allen is a legend, and not just because he has one leg. He has done a lot in wrestling, and it was nice to see him get his flowers, because a lot of people don't really remember what his WWE run was.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people like to romanticize it and stuff like that. He got some wins, sure. A lot of his time there was being thrown around by people who were a lot bigger than him.
Yeah, well, mainly Brock Lesnar. It's like Zach Gowen will be in the ring, and Brock Lesnar will come from the rafters to kill Zach Gowen.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happened every time.
It never failed.
Yeah,
never failed. He'd
come from under the ring, come from the crowd. He was hiding under the announce desk. It didn't matter. Brock Lesnar was everywhere trying to kill Zach Gowen.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting to see him get his flowers. He had a really good match with Ricochet. Like he wasn't gonna win. There were times where it was believable, but it was a fun match. Like that can happen sometimes. It's okay.
Yeah, love to have fun. Have some damn fun, people.
Please
loosen up. So like after the match, Ricochet, he started attacking. He hit the spirit gun, I think like one or two more times. Mark Briscoe came out, and of course Ricochet rolled out of the ring, started going away. But the fucked up thing is Ricochet went for his leg again. The prosthetic leg. He was going to steal it again, man. And Mark Briscoe fended him off. So that was cool.
I want to see Zach on some more. Like I hope this wasn't just like a one-off. We get to see him like every once in a while. It doesn't have to be. He doesn't have to be on TV every week, but it would be nice to like see him around every once in a while.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. So after this, we have MJF. He's backstage with Renee, and she of course asks, "Hey, what would it mean for you to be, to join the Hurt Syndicate?" MJF of course says, "Hey, he was the longest reigning AEW champion, and that hey, the talent." The landscape now is different from when he got the title back when he did, because AEW is even more stacked top to bottom with stars. And, he just admitted, he's like, yeah, I'm kind of lazy and I just don't want to go through all that. What it means with the Hurt Syndicate is that it'll help him get back to the top and get his belt back. Basically. And Renee asked him the question, but what happens if they don't let you in the Hurt Syndicate? And MJF was like, he was terrified when she said that. And then MVP showed up. And he's like, hey, after this match tonight, it is imperative that you get your ass down to the ring. So, of course, Max was terrified after that. And this leads to Hurt Syndicate versus Top Flight.
Oh yeah.
So does Shelton. Here's the end of it. Shelton Benjamin did the step up, that step up knee that he always does to Dante Martin. Lashley, of course, hit the spear, and then put him in the Hurt Lock. And of course, there's no way Dante's getting out. Poor guy. And so that Hurt Syndicate win after that. But guess what? Lashley wasn't done. He just kept him in the Hurt Lock and was just wrenching and like ragdolling him around the ring until Dustin and Sammy came out. And he was like, "Hey, do you think that makes you look like a badass? It just makes you look like a dick." And MVP was like, "Hey, I know you're out here. I'm a businessman. We know you're out here for business. That we go way back, so that's the reason why I'm holding back these two monsters from killing you guys right now, from beating you to a bloody pulp." And then Crew came, and Crew was like, "Hey, Dustin, Crew pretty much like, hey, we're here. We want our title shot too." He's like, "Hey, Bobby, come on, give us our title shot." Dustin got into Crew's face and was like, "Hey, you ain't gonna skip the line," and all that other shit. And seemed like time was like running down, so MVP was like, "Okay, look, whoever wins between you and Crew on Collision gets a shot at Bobby Shelton at Double or Nothing." And then, so like right after that, they walked off and they called MJF to the ring. His music was playing and no one came out. So MVP told Shelton Benjamin to go get MJF, bring his ass to the ring. Shelton Benjamin ran to the back and he was hiding in Gorilla, and Tony Khan ratted him out immediately. And he was pointing at MJF. MJF was terrified. He thought he was going to get killed. And then, Shelton Benjamin was like, "Hey, come on, buddy." He held on to him and pretty much dragged his ass to the ring. And, once he got into the ring, they all did the vote again. Of course, MVP did thumbs up. Shelton Benjamin did thumbs up. And at this point, Lashley was the final one. So Lashley walked over and held on to MJF, put his hand out. What MJF didn't see in the corner was Shelton Benjamin laid down his belt and was getting ready as Bobby Lashley was showing either thumbs up or thumbs down. He ended up doing the thumbs up, but if it would have been a thumbs down, MJF would have died in that ring that night.
Oh yeah, we would have never seen him again.
Because Shelton Benjamin was locked and loaded. So he got the thumbs up from Lashley, and then MVP said, "Hey, next week you do the official contract signing to be in the Hurt Syndicate." So, yeah. And, that didn't happen until later. But there's another segment, for this later. So what did you think about the whole thing, man?
First off, for the match, as expected. Definitely did not expect Top Flight to really do anything to the Syndicate. And they didn't. After the match, why the fuck am I seeing Sammy Guevara and Dustin Rhodes? They have their own titles to defend. Mm-hmm. Get another tag team. You have a bunch back there. You know who I would love to see? Who's stuck in a vortex right now? Grizzly Young Vets. MXM. Anyone else. Crew. But I'll crash out about that on Collision. Not really worried about that right now.
Mm-hmm.
But the ending segment with MJF, when Bobby gave him the thumbs up, he was so happy, and it made me so angry. Because he jumped on Bobby. Bobby pushed him off. Like, "We hurt people." Like, you don't belong here, MJF. You don't belong here. I'm pretty sure, like, my neighbors and everyone on the street heard like a no. But we will see what happens. You have one more segment to talk about, but we'll talk about that a little bit more later. And we'll theorize after that point, because I think you and I have the same thing, that MJF is probably gonna die next week.
Yeah, I don't think it's as black and white as like what everybody thinks, where it's like, "Oh, he got the thumbs up, he's in." No. That contract thing throws a whole different thing to it.
And the Shelton tease about him kicking his head off.
Yep, because Shelton was ready, dude. Like, he put the belt down and he was locked and loaded.
I really do think you already said it, but I don't think they knew what, in storyline. We have to say this now. In storyline.
Yes.
I don't think the rest of the Syndicate knew what Bobby was going to do. So Shelton was just prepared just in case. So just in case he did say no, MJF would have not made it. He probably wouldn't even made the All In. He probably would have been dead. But because he said yes, they were like, okay. And Shelton stood up. MJF went crazy. The crowd went crazy for him. Yeah, I still don't think he belongs in there. But I think he will get what is coming to him next week.
You know what? I actually think the reverse. I think they knew.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, I think they knew. So they talked it over. I think they already knew Bobby was going to say yes. But Bobby was too happy, man. He was a little too happy.
Oh, yeah.
So I think, and I feel like there's either a contingency in there or shit's just going to really go down next week and Bobby's just going to kill him. Right? Like, he was too happy. He wants to hurt MJF anyway. Right? So, what if? Well, we'll talk about it later, but I have my thoughts on the what if.
I mean, we will get there, but there was a lawyer involved and stuff like that. There is, we can talk about what happened last week when Hurt Syndicate had like a legal consultation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's a lot of little pieces here I think a lot of people aren't talking about that we'll talk about once we get to that next segment. Or when we get that segment a little bit later.
Yeah. There's a little extra nuggets in there. Actually, it's after this next match that we're gonna talk, which was probably the other match of the night, I would say. So next match is the AEW Women's Championship Eliminator. Ugh, I said Eliminator. Weird. Wow. With Tony Storm, Azumi, Mina Shirakawa, and Sky Blue. A returning Sky Blue, that is. And I'm just gonna say this right off for Sky Blue returning. She didn't look like she was returning. She looked like she'd been in the ring the whole time she's been out.
She's also returned from a leg injury. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so while that leg was healing, she couldn't run around. She couldn't move really. Like, she could still, stay in shape, do all that kind of stuff, but she couldn't really use her leg for anything.
Right. And hey, I'm just gonna say, right in the beginning, they tested out that leg. I'll tell you that right now, because Tony Storm took her and tossed her outside the ring immediately.
I got so worried about that. When I saw it, I was like, oh, fuck, not again.
She just tossed her out of the ring. I was like, well, I guess they're really testing that leg right now.
You're about to talk about the match. The one thing I don't like about professional wrestlers is that they all do this, and it frustrates me. And this isn't like a company thing. This isn't whatever. Every wrestler does this all the time. Whenever a wrestler has like some kind of injury that they're coming back from, every single place I see, every single wrestler does this. The opponent always targets that part every time, and I hate it every single time. People like come back from like broken ribs, they get punched in the stomach a lot. People come back from legs, they get a bunch of leg submissions. Someone has like a broken collarbone, there's a lot of chops and a lot of stuff like that. Wrestlers, stop doing that, please. It freaks me out every time.
Yeah, man. I was like, oh shit, Tony Storm just tossed her out of the ring. I was like, oh.
It was literally the first 5 seconds. Like, the first thing that happened in the match after everything is she got thrown out of the ring. The same way that she did with Sheeta. And I was like, oh my god, she broke her leg again. It's over. Like, she just came back.
Yeah, I was like, well, guess they're testing that leg one way or another. But I'll just say this, she looked great in this match, man.
Oh yeah, she was fantastic.
And she did, actually, I'm going to say this. She actually looked better now than she was before.
I think that leg healed up really quickly, and she was with Kyle Fletcher a lot. And Kyle Fletcher is a very good professional wrestler.
Yeah.
So, like, if you're training with him to get better, you will look better than however many months ago you were gone. It's just a fact of life. This is gonna happen.
Yeah, probably trained with him and probably trained with Dustin. Because he does give the classes for free to anybody that actually wants to learn.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, she looked great in this match. Like shit right in the beginning. So she gets thrown out of the ring. It's Azumi and Shirakawa beating the hell out of each other and pretty much starting where they left off from. What was it, Resurgence? Yeah. So they're just taking them where they left off from Resurgence. They were going balls out, man. They were going fast. They were hitting hard. Like, actually, this whole match everybody was going balls out. I don't think there was any slow period during this match.
No, there wasn't. It was really good.
It was really damn good. But so for this match, at the end of the match, Toni Storm, she tried to hit a Storm Zero on Mina Shirakawa, and then reversed it into what she calls now the big package. Of course, Toni Storm called it the big package.
Of course.
But Mina Shirakawa reversed that and got the victory with the 1-2-3. So Mina Shirakawa is the number one contender and is going to take on Toni Storm at Double or Nothing.
It's actually kind of crazy that this was Mina's first like AEW match as a contracted AEW wrestler, and she pinned Toni.
Yeah. Well, I think I saw a few little things where it's like after she did her thing at Resurgence and things like that, she was coming into AEW and they're going to attach a rocket ship to her.
It makes sense. Mina's fantastic, so it makes sense to do that.
Yeah. At the end of the match, the Zumi, she looked like she will put big old quotation marks around this. She looked like she was hurt, at the end. And Aubrey was helping her to the back. And Mercedes appears and then beats the crap out of Zumi and, puts her in the money. I always get her fucking thing wrong. I think it's the money statement.
The statement maker.
Statement maker. There we go. Puts her in the statement maker. And then, as she has Azumi in the statement maker, Jamie Hayter comes out, knocks her off of Azumi, and then puts Monet in the statement maker herself. And then they break it up, and then they go their separate ways. We're on to the next one. But what did you think about the match, man?
I really enjoyed the match, like a lot. We have a lot of things to talk about before and after, like the Mina Shirakawa music change. We have some stuff at the back end. We have what's going to be happening between Mercedes and Jamie. We still have Mercedes being really mad that she lost her New Japan Strong Women's Championship, which, by the way, she was not pinned for. She didn't get pinned. Mina was the one who got pinned in that three-way.
Yep.
There are a lot of moving pieces to this. I don't know if we have time to talk about every single one, but there was a lot here. And we also have a lot of implications. Well, I guess technically we don't. People are just kind of assuming what's happening, but people think that now because of this happening, it's the easiest 50-50 shot if Mariah shows up on at Double or Nothing or not. Mm-hmm. The easiest 50-50 now. See where she is going, where her head is at.
Yeah. We'll see where that's going. If they did something like introduce some tag titles or something like that, and they become Rose Gold again, yeah, we'll see.
Mm-hmm. As if Mariah shows up.
If Mariah shows up. But so Mercedes and her whole deal, I think she gets the rematch on a New Japan show.
Possibly.
And maybe loses the rematch. She's either gonna. I don't think she's gonna win it, unless it's like months down the line. Maybe she goes and films on The Mandalorian, comes back, and then does a match, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if she did it right now, there's no way she's winning. Is my take on it.
There are thoughts out there, and I don't agree with these thoughts. I'm just putting these thoughts out in the ether.
Yeah.
People were saying that it's a possibility that she lost her New Japan Strong title because she's not going to be in New Japan for a little bit because she's going to be busy with another world championship that she may get at All In. And I'm like, I don't know, because that would mean, if we would just take it at face value, that would mean that right now Mercedes doesn't have a challenger for the TBS championship. So there's no one with what we see on TV. Right? We know what everyone wants. But what we see on TV is that there's not a challenger that is challenging Mercedes right now for the TBS championship, which means that Mercedes might go into All In with the TBS championship and potentially also win the AEW Women's Championship. Like, you're going to put both of your titles on one person right now? I don't think you can do that.
Yeah. Unless she gets the title and has to immediately vacate it.
But that would suck too, right? Because if you have Mercedes beat Jamie Hayter, and then she still holds the TBS championship, and she just kind of just like gets the world championship and then vacates the TBS championship, that also sucks, right? Like, Mercedes should get pinned and lose that title. That's the best case scenario. Right.
It depends on which. Yeah, I agree. It depends on which way they want to do it.
But do you think it's just a conclusion right now that by the time we record next Monday, that Mercedes will be the number one contender for the women's championship? You think
No.
you think it's 100%? Because I don't either.
Ain't no damn way. I think it's 50-50 that she can become number one contender or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's easy.
But 100%? No, not at all. Especially like when you know that she's about to go film a movie or a show or something like that.
It's a Mercedes right now is in a weird situation, right? And I think what sucks even more is that no one's really talking about Jamie right now. Jamie, and this is what people are saying, and I kind of agree with it. Jamie does kind of feel like an afterthought in this whole situation. Like she's there, she's able to beat up Mercedes, but I mean, it doesn't feel like they're on the same level right now, which kind of sucks.
Yeah, I feel like they kind of missed they kind of pooched there when they had Mercedes and Athena right at the literally like second match in the tournament, right?
Yeah.
I think Athena should have been on the other side of the bracket.
Yeah, right. Like we at the time, everyone was saying it's nice that we just get it, right? Like we get the match and it's great. But then Athena disappeared on AEW TV. No, I'm talking about on AEW TV. She disappeared. And it really does feel like it's just a conclusion right now that Mercedes is just gonna win. And it sucks because Jamie isn't really getting her due diligence in this situation. Like she's not, right? Like she's coming out there beating up Mercedes and doing stuff like that. That's great, but realistically, it definitely doesn't feel like she's in the match. It just feels like she's being like Mercedes was granted more focused on Azumi, which makes sense. Like she just lost her title, right? It just feels like everything else is more important than Jamie Hayter.
Right, which that can translate to, since she's focused on everything else, Jamie Hayter just flat out beats her.
Yeah, that would be Mercedes' first pin, since going to New Japan, right? So it has to happen at some point. Yeah, I don't know. It's just it's interesting to see where they're gonna go. Now we're gonna be getting the Mercedes and Jamie Hayter face to face finally. So I guess we'll see something there, but they're gonna have to work. And this sucks to say, but they're gonna have to work to make Jamie feel important in this situation. Like they have to, because they haven't. It's been a month.
Yeah, so that's a hard one. That's definitely a hard one because it might seem like Jamie Hayter's an afterthought, but almost at the same time, it's one of those things where it's like, yes, wrestling wise, Jamie Hayter is there, right? Personality wise, they're on two different levels.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Mercedes is on a completely different level than Jamie Hayter. When you're looking at the complete package, Mercedes, she's on a different level. So yeah, it's kind of hard, right? In this case,
and then no one else has said this, right? But I have been accidentally comparing what's happening between the women's Owen Hart and the men's Owen Hart. Like Ospreay and Hangman just feels important.
Yes,
because they've been ever since we found out that was going to be the finals. They have been in each other's faces this entire time, right? But on the women's side, like they've just been kind of brawling, right? Like we got the brawl in Detroit, we got the brawl this week, and really nothing else.
Right.
I don't know, and that's me. No one should be comparing the two because you shouldn't. But just looking at them, it just, I don't know. I want to see what happens this week because they do need to figure this out. I feel like Jamie's gonna win because at this point, I don't think you should put Mercedes in that situation where she has the TBS championship and is now going to be competing for the world championship. Just split it up. Y'all don't have any other belts in the women's division, so it's a lot harder than the men's to do that. So just split it. Let Jamie go do her thing over there, and put Mercedes in a place to where she will wrestle. Even if it's not Athena, wrestle somebody different for the TBS championship at All In, and probably lose it there.
If you want a guaranteed loss, there's only one person you need to put in there.
Who Athena?
Athena would be one, but guaranteed, Megan Bain.
Yeah. They would have to get that started.
Yeah, they would have to get it started like somehow, some way. If you wanted to make it to where you see the matchup, and you're like, yeah, Mercedes is totally losing this. There's like no way she's gonna win this. Mm-hmm. Yeah, throw Megan Bayne in there.
Yeah, it does. I do. It just feels like, and I hate doing this because I got mad at people doing this 3 weeks ago, but it just felt like it was gonna be Mercedes Athena, and then Mercedes cheats to beat Athena. Mm-hmm. And then we don't see Athena on AEW TV anymore. And it could be a red herring. She could show up at Double or Nothing.
She could, yeah.
But she could also not.
That too.
I don't know. I guess we're just in a wait and see mode. We have a week, so we'll see. But yeah, I feel like as much as I love Mercedes, putting her in the world title situation while she has the TBS championship is not a good idea, in my opinion.
Right.
That's really it, though. I don't really have. We can talk about the Mina thing, but I think we can bypass that. People didn't like the song. It got changed. There's nothing more to it.
Yeah, it went from that new song to like, what is this shit? All right, change it back towards the old stuff immediately. You got the old track? All right, put it on there when she wins.
Yeah, put it both there. Even Mina looked shocked when she heard the new music, her old music come back after the match. She even had like a face like, oh, okay.
All right, yeah. So I think that was funny that he changed it immediately. Didn't even give it a chance to marinate. It's like, nope, that's gone.
Apparently nobody liked it, bro. That was it. Nobody liked it.
Man, okay. So after the 4-way match, we have the MJF MVP segment. Mm-hmm. MJF tells MVP that he wants his lawyer, Mark Sterling, to look at the contract. And he brings Mark Sterling over there, and Mark Sterling was going to shake MVP's hand. MVP takes his cane and takes down his hand. He's like, yeah, He looked at MJF, was like, well, you don't want me to sign a contract without my lawyer looking at it, right? He's like, okay, yeah, this is business, okay. And so I guess Mark Sterling is also going to be out there next week.
So they're both going to die.
Yeah. Mark Sterling's the first one to die, as he always is. Mm-hmm. And MJF is the next one. So my speculation is it could be something like, I'm going to go back to TNA with Matt Cardona and PCO. They did a bit where Matt Cardona made his own contract and was avoiding fighting PCO. And he got his lawyer to look at a contract and made a contract, and dumbass Santino signed it. And it was for like PCO to like fight like a gauntlet of people before he fought Matt Cardona, right? So in this situation, I could see it being why Bobby Lashley is so happy is that, you can only now make it into a Hurt Syndicate after you go one-on-one with the Almighty. Mm-hmm. And, of course, Bobby Lashley's going to win.
Easy. I have no doubts that Bobby Lashley will beat MJF.
Yeah, so he's going to kill MJF, and, that'll be at the end of it. I don't think he's going to actually officially join the Hurt Syndicate.
What if they while we were talking, I thought about this. What if they because the PCO thing came to mind, like you said. Yeah. What if they bust MJF open and make him and just put his blood on the contract and make him sign it just so they can beat him up?
So they just beat his ass every week.
Yeah,
that'd be pretty hilarious.
Yeah, something's in that contract, right?
Yeah, something's in there.
The way MJF was looking, the way MVP was looking, he was definitely upset that there was a lawyer involved. And the consultation from a couple weeks ago, last week, whenever that was.
Yeah, it was last week.
Yeah, last week. Something's in that contract.
Yeah, something's up.
Like you said earlier, Bobby Lashley was way too happy throughout this entire night.
Yeah, he was smiling and everything. He was way too happy. I'm like, uh-oh. And Shelton Benjamin was ready to kick his head off at a moment's notice. Yeah, no.
Yeah, something's gonna happen. So we'll see this week. We talked about off the podcast, but what if it's like a 10 lashes thing to bring that back from Cody and Wardlow, but they have to do it to MJF? Oh. It could be anything. It's probably like an all-in match or something like that. So they drag this out for 2 months. They just beat him up every week until All In.
Then he probably makes his own group or something like that, Mm-hmm. With like Hammerstone or something. Who knows?
This is, now that you said that, this is probably the tag team match at All In. MJF and somebody versus the Syndicate.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Let's see. So next up is Daniel Garcia. Hold up. You all right, Pebbles? All right.
Is everything all right?
Yeah, she was making this weird coughing sound. I was like, "What? Are you all right there?" Nah, she all right.
Okay.
So Daniel Garcia is our next segment, and you know what? Like it starts out. Nigel McGuinness is in the ring. He's he's talking. He's like, "Hey," he wants to apologize to everybody because he did the thing that he told Tony Schiavone not to do, and that was get involved in fighting, getting in the ring with FTR. He got in the ring, and he said he messed up Daniel Garcia's chance at a winning purse, and he apologized to Daniel Garcia for it, and Daniel Garcia is like, I don't want your apology. You did what any man would do if somebody disrespected you, which was get in the ring and pretty much lay hands on him. So at this point, Stokely comes out, and Stokely was, pretty much trying to lay down the law to Nigel McGuinness of what he was doing last week. And he was saying that FTR wasn't in the building. Of course not, Stokely. You know how many times I've heard you say that?
Wink, wink.
They're under the ring. Who knows, right? And he was pretty much, saying, hey, no one puts their hands on FTR, and if you do, there's consequences. He said FTR and him had a meeting for a punishment for Nigel McGuinness. And that was for him to get in the ring in an official wrestling match. So that way they're not responsible for, they're not going to be held responsible for what they do to him. So everything is fair game at that point. So Nigel McGuinness is like, yeah, that's exactly why I ain't trying to fight you guys. Like, I ain't trying to fight FTR. Nigel is a smart man. And Daniel Garcia is like, well, if you don't fight them, he's like, I'm going to fight him no matter what. So, and he's like, hey, I could, if we were both in there, we could go toe-to-toe with FTR. And right as they're, talking, FTR comes to the ring. They popped up. They started attacking Daniel Garcia. Of course, they took his ass out first. And they set up Nigel McGuinness for a spike pile driver, and Daddy Magic came out with the crowbar. Saved the day, and, FTR was like, we'll get you guys later. They're probably going to kill Daddy Magic later, and they're going to kidnap him and just, kill him and make sure he just never shows up again.
Oh, yeah.
We're just going to see right before Double or Nothing, just Daddy Magic laid out bloodied, man. So, yeah, what did you think about that segment, man?
I enjoyed it. I think the funny thing was, like, Nigel kept on saying commentators should not be in the ring. And I don't think it was meant to be a shot, but it's hilarious. Yeah. I will not elaborate. That's all I'm going to say about that. But yeah, it was a really good segment. I really enjoyed it. This is also funny enough and low-key kind of ironic. The most interesting Daniel Garcia has been since winning the TNT Championship like 8 months ago, however long ago that was.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
Figures how that goes, huh?
Yeah. I feel like I think we'll talk about it on Collision, but it feels like there's like some kind of like voodoo on the TNT Championship, because you go from being very interesting and people really want you to have the title to having the title and then nothing.
I think Miro cursed it, man.
I think so. I don't know what happened, but we'll talk about that a little bit more when we get to Collision. It's just interesting to see, and I feel like I might be the first one on this wave, and I hope they prove me wrong, because it is a very weird wave to be on right now. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about Collision.
Okay. So, next up, we have our main event, which is the AEW World Championship Steel Cage match between Jon Moxley and Samoa Joe. Like, that's all I gotta say. Jon Moxley versus Samoa Joe in the Steel Cage.
Chaos.
Complete fucking madness, man.
God bless. This might be an hour conversation, because some of the shit that happened was ridiculous.
Yeah. Instead of going through the match normally, we could just go back and forth with what we liked on this match.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, of course, there is a ton on this match, but we already know. You have those two in a steel cage is just complete fucking insanity.
Bro, this was easily Joe's best match since being back.
Yeah.
Easily,
yeah.
Oh my God. Moxley got split open immediately.
He went back to, what is it, like 2021 Mox?
Yeah, bro, Mox has been very, very, like, I don't even know what the word, energetic. I don't know what the word is. He's been motivated for like the last like couple months.
After the Cope feud.
After the Cope feud.
Yep. And I think it was after like the very last match him and Cope did. Because you can see it, like before, it kind of felt like a little bit unmotivated, you know? Mm-hmm. Maybe there was something creatively just not clicking. And after him and Cope did their thing and then he went to Swerve, that's when he picked up again.
Yeah. I think they heard. I think even Moxley had to hear about the title reign, right? Because there was no one who liked the title reign.
Yeah.
At the beginning or at like last year. Right? It devolved into chaos. Mm-hmm. To where like everyone wanted Moxley to lose the title. Everyone was looking for like a quote unquote savior. Right? And then like you said, the Cope match happens. And people have started to kind of like turn the table. Like people have now gone to saying like they can wait until after All In, which is, I don't think they can do that. I think that's insane.
No, that's crazy.
Yeah, you can't do that. But people are a lot more willing now to let this go on, which is a testament because it was not looking great in December.
No, it was shit. We're not flip-flopping on this. We're just telling. If you want to know, go back to our shows. 2-3 months ago when we were talking about the title reign. We pretty much say these exact same things. Like, it was not looking hot at that time.
I mean, look, like I said, like you said already, like we're not gonna flip flop on it. I still am not a fan of this title reign. Like, don't get shit twisted. I am still not a fan. I'm a fan of what has been happening more lately, and Moxley being more motivated and more straightforward in what he's saying. Mm-hmm. But that does not mean that this is a good title reign, because I still don't think it is.
Yeah.
It's just I'm not going to yell it from the rooftops like we were 4 months ago. Where it felt dire 4 months ago. Like in January, December. It does not anymore.
Yeah.
It still needs to end though.
It did not feel good, like, during that time. Before eventually turned it around. Mm-hmm. But there are those cases where sometimes like a title reign, for whatever reason in the beginning, it's not great. And then they kind of iron it out towards the end of it. This seems like one of those where it's getting close to getting ironed out towards the end of the title reign.
You know what this reminds me of now I'm thinking about it?
What's that?
The beginning of Timeless Tony Storm.
Yep.
Because I think people forget that the beginning of Timeless Tony Storm, well, not only was she a heel, right? And people were booing her for sure. Like, that was a thing. But, like, some of the cheating that she was doing, like, people will forget that she had that. I don't even know what that thing was that she shoved in the back of her inner trunks. I don't remember what that even was. Like, what was it? Like a thing that you hold tea on? Like a little serving tray or whatever? Mm-hmm. And she used that, and she was using that to cheat, and it was just not good. She wasn't wrestling well either. People forget that because Timeless Tony Storm is like one of the best things happening in AEW right now. But that beginning was not good.
One of the best things in all of wrestling right now.
Oh, yeah. I should have said that. You're right.
Period.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, it's one of those things that takes time to finally... Once you found the character, though, that was it. Mm-hmm. Like, you see it now. That was it. She found the character. That was it.
Thank you, Azumi. Because that match from months ago, really, like, she got the kick in the head that she needed. Mm-hmm. I think Moxley kind of got, like, the kick in the ass he needed from Cope. I think.
Yeah.
I know. I took us away from the match. But all you.
All right. So, the start of this match, of course, it started. They were, they're exchanging holds a little bit, doing a little bit of, not really chain wrestling. They were just exchanging holds. That was it. And then that led to them saying, well, fuck, I'm John Moxley, you're Samoa Joe. We're supposed to be hitting each other. And that's exactly what they did. They started elbowing the hell out of each other in the face. And yeah, like John Moxley, he headbutts, not John Moxley, Joe headbutts John Moxley in the corner. Mm-hmm. And then after that, Joe goes to work, throwing the punches, the kicks, even did the running boot. And yeah, man, like Joe was going in on Mox. And it was kind of like when Mox cut that promo last week where he's like, yeah, I'm going to get my ass kicked, but for how long? how long can you do it for? And that was pretty much displayed like right in the beginning, closer to the middle of the match. Joe was just beating the hell out of Mox. And yeah, Mox got busted open like quick, right? But eventually Mox, he starts getting the upper hand, and the Death Riders all, of course, John Moxley starts getting his ass kicked. They all start going to the ringside, and but they are encountered with Willow Nightingale. Of course, she has a chair, so they ain't gonna do nothing. And Powerhouse Hobbs, he was out there too. And yeah, man. So I want to get to one of the big like turning points of the match, because there was, there's still like a ton of like little chaos here and there, and they were still going back and forth. But Joe, he locked in the Coquina clutch, and this was after Mox put him in the bulldog choke. Bulldog choke. Of course, Joe was like, "Nah, I ain't gonna give up." I had that written wrong. So Mox was the one that put Joe in the Coquina clutch. Of course, Joe didn't give up. Eventually, he gets out, but shit started happening outside the ring, and somebody in a hooded, in a hoodie, jumps out, and I already knew who the hell it was the second I saw him. I was like, "What is he doing here?"
It did not take long for me to, like, I saw people were like, "Is that Jack Perry?" It's like, no. I looked at him for a second. I was like, "Fucking, you're gonna say the name?" I was like, "All right, he's here."
He's Gabe Kidd's here. Yep, it was Gabe Kidd. He slides in the briefcase to Mox. He hits Joe in the head, and then pins him for the win. And then Gabe Kidd also out there. He was helping out Claudio take out Hobbs, because Hobbs was going crazy out there. He was wrecking everybody.
Oh yeah, Hobbs at this point, like, Hobbs out there, Willow was out there, like, it was chaos.
Yeah, like Hobbs was wrecking the Death Riders, because like at one point Claudio hits him with a chair. Hobbs did the thing where he's like, "Are you serious right now? You hit me with a chair?" He did that thing where he turns around, and Claudio was like, "Oh, shit." When Claudio goes, "Oh man, I think I fucked up." Pain's about to happen, and then after that, Gabe Kidd helped take Hobbs out, and so the Bucks, they came out, and Joe was still in the ring, and they had the controls for the steel cage, and the cage was up, and then they brought it. Kenny Omega comes out. He stupidly goes in the ring and gets his ass kicked, and then because he goes in the ring, and then Okada, businessman Okada, salaryman Okada, they just got off of work, is ready to go. The salaryman outfit. He came by and he attacked Omega and threw him in the ring. And then they pressed the the button for the cage to come down. Cage comes back down, and they're beating up Omega and Samoa Joe in the ring. Then, you hear the Who's House, and Swerve comes out. He climbs immediately like Spider-Man to the top of the cage, jumps off onto all the Death Riders. The Bucks are hitting the button to make the cage go back up again. They all run out and leave. And at that point, it looks like we got all the players for Anarchy in the arena.
Oh yeah.
So we had Swerve, we had Samoa Joe, we had Willow Nightingale, we had Swerve, Samoa Joe, Willow Nightingale, Kenny Omega. And then on the other side could be a combination of anybody, but it would look like the players would be the Bucks, Claudio, maybe Okada, maybe not. Probably Okada if Omega's in it. Mm-hmm. And Marina Shafir.
I have a theory on who I think is going to be, especially after watching Collision. They still haven't announced it, by the way. Even on Collision, they didn't announce who it was. It was going to be like a mystery. But I think I put on Blue Sky too. I think it's going to be on the side of the Elite / Death Riders. It's going to be Mox, Marina, Matt and Nick, and Gabe Kidd. We'll have to talk about that in a minute, because we got to be real. This is kind of out of nowhere, but we can talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, I have my thoughts. Like, the New Japan community went fucking absolutely ballistic because Gabe Kidd came out.
Yeah.
So I have some thoughts.
We will talk about it.
Yeah.
And then I guess we'll call it Team AEW for the sake of Team AEW. I think it's gonna be Swerve, Willow. Willow better be in this fucking match. Tony Khan, Swerve, fucking God.
No, I think it's gonna be Willow and Mina, or not Mina, Jesus, Marina, are for sure going to be in the match.
They have to be. This has to be their blow off for sure.
Yeah.
So Swerve, Willow, Joe. I said Joe, Hobbs, and Shibata.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I said. Shibata hasn't been back yet since he got attacked. But that's who I think I think it's gonna be 5v5, and that's who I think is gonna be in it.
Mm-hmm. I would like to see Shibata. I don't think Shibata's going to be in it though.
Yeah, that means they would need a fifth. And people were saying, like, since the Gabe Kid's in it, that means Eddie Kingston might be coming back, and Eddie Kingston is ramping up to be back for sure. But I feel like that would be more of a return during the match instead of like being in the match. Like, I don't know.
Unless like something's like, hey, we need a fifth, and we happen to be in New York City or something. I don't think they'll have his first match back be in like such a really dangerous match like that.
Nah, like if he's involved, he's not going to be announced for the match.
Right. I feel like he'll just join, like he'll come in and start helping Team AEW somehow. Mm-hmm. Right.
Then if there are 5, then who do you think is going to be the 5th?
That's a rough one, man. Like what I'll always say is, you need a 5th man. Ishii's your guy. He's everywhere.
Yeah.
He's fighting Roppongi Vice, so that ain't happening. Let's see, man. And I'm thinking maybe Kenny, maybe.
I didn't say Kenny, did I?
Yeah.
I didn't say Kenny. Yeah, Kenny for sure.
Right, that'd be the 5.
Yeah, I think I said Kenny in my thing, and I just didn't. Yeah, Kenny would be the 5th.
Mm-hmm.
Because especially if the Bucks are in it.
Yeah, but you always need a 5th man. The Stone Pitbull is always ready.
I mean, look, he was the random 3rd man on Collision, so
exactly. I was like, I wonder who's gonna be. Oh, god damn it! It's Ishii.
Ishii and Bandito and Brody King, the most random team.
The most random fucking team, and I love it.
And they.
Yes. Look, man, that walk Ishii does to the ring, man, that's me walking to a buffet. I'm focused and ready to go, baby.
Ishii's been doing that walk for 35 years.
Fuck yeah, he's always ready for that buffet.
we gotta talk about someone else really quick.
Yep.
We gotta talk about Gabe Kidd.
Yes. Let's talk about him.
Bro, okay. As a New Japan fan, I saw people were freaking out about it, right? But, you know, right now, Best of Super Juniors. If you are a New Japan fan, you kind of know that once Best of Super Juniors is a thing, usually the heavyweights are kind of gone, right? They go do their own thing for a little bit until the preview tags come back. Then they'll have some come around and do their thing, right? Like ELP and Zack Sabre Jr. were playing Beyblade in the Philippines. Yes. And I know it sounds random, but they literally were. There's a video online right now.
Zack Sabre Jr. won 4-3, by the way, guys.
Of course he did. The GOAT. But yeah, all the heavyweights are usually gone at this time. That's kind of what happens. You know, for the G1, a lot of the juniors are gone. They do their own thing, right? Mm-hmm. I think people were surprised to see Gabe Kidd there, right? Because I think people think that the Gabe Kidd hating AEW stuff is real because of what happened with Chris like 6 months ago on Wrestle Kingdom, Wrestle Dynasty, right? Yeah. He was on Hey AEW. Like, he did a sit-down interview with RJ City. Do you think if he really hated AEW, he would be doing that? No.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, what doesn't make sense is the storyline. Because why is Gabe Kidd helping the Death Riders? It's a little... Like, I guess it makes more sense than the Bucks. But if the Bucks orchestrated this, that doesn't make sense at all. Because the Bucks, with the Good Brothers, had a match against the War Dogs, including Gabe Kidd. Right. And they tried to like, make up, right? They tried to be like, yeah, let's do this. Too sweet. And then the War Dogs were like, fuck no. And they dipped out. Right? So there's no reason for Gabe Kidd to be on the side with the Bucks. I think that's why they have this thing with Moxley, and I don't know what the connection is. And Moxley kind of talked about it a little bit, and he was very in that amazing promo that he did.
Yeah.
He kind of talked about
bloodied and shit.
Yeah. Like, he talked about it a little bit, but it doesn't make sense.
Actually, I'm thinking about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
It kind of does make sense.
Go ahead.
Because everything Moxley has talked about, as far as like his motivations and what he wants, like the up and comers, like the people, like he doesn't want he doesn't want a bunch of wrestlers just lazing around and things like that, and just going hard. They're working hard all the time and stuff like that.
Yeah, professionals.
Gabe Kidd fits that to a T.
Yeah.
It would make sense, like, if you'd be like, hey, I'm gonna hire you to be a Death Rider for a little bit to help us out. To me, it kind of makes sense because as far as like the people he would bring into the Death Riders, Gabe Kidd would for sure be like one of those guys.
Yeah, Gabe Kidd would for sure fit the bill.
Yeah.
I mean, he looked like a Death Rider back there in that promo that we're gonna talk about for Collision.
Yep. Oh, for sure. Like he already looked like he looks like he's been there forever.
Yeah. I mean, that's Gabe Kidd though. Like that's who he is now.
Yeah.
I do think it's interesting though, calling Gabe Kidd in, because Gabe Kidd also has history with Omega. Mm-hmm. He now has like a short history with the Bucks, right? He still has Bullet Club connections, right? Like he is in Bullet Club. There's still this like ongoing thing that people are trying to make happen between him and Finley, which is what it is. This is another thing that people are kind of putting up against that. It's like, oh, Gabe Kidd's kind of doing things for himself. I'm pretty sure Finley wouldn't be happy about this. It's like I don't know if Finley cares. I don't think that really matters. We're not. Yeah. They're not doing a Gabe Kidd versus David Finley thing, y'all. Just let it go. It's over. It's not happening.
Relax, people.
So Gabe Kidd for sure, I feel like for sure is either going to be in Anarchy in the Arena or is going to play a major part. Like he has to now, because you put him there. Mm-hmm. He looks like a Death Rider. He speaks like a Death Rider. So we'll see where he goes, because we only get him for a few weeks before he has to run back to Japan.
Yeah, it would make sense. If he's either in Anarchy in the Arena or just a part of it, that would make sense.
I mean, he's done like hardcore stuff, like the dog pound steel cage match and stuff like that. He's done the hardcore. So you put him in Anarchy in the Arena, you gotta hit her for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right, man. So that takes us to Collision.
And let me tell you, I told Proffitt this earlier. I took notes, and I actually was not a fan of this episode of Collision. Now that I took the notes and I was thinking about it, I could be a little bit nitpicky. You guys are gonna hear the notes. You guys are gonna see what happens. We're gonna go straight into it. We're gonna start with the opening match of the night. We have Megan Bayne with Penelope Ford versus Anna Jay with Harley Cameron. One thing I noticed right away is that Megan Bayne has like a new version of her theme song now. Wasn't really that big of a fan of it. I think I have to like get used to it. I didn't really like hear it, but it definitely was like, a thing. Also, when Anna Jay came out with Harley, Harley was smacking Anna's ass and she put her face in there. I was like, yo, this is a lot. Relax.
Yeah.
Relax. The match overall was all right. They had like a really kind of weird ending sequence, and they had a lot of camera cuts, which kind of distracted me, like more than normal AEW. Like it was weird, but that probably ties into like a lot of other stuff we're gonna talk about later. Also, the ending, Mega Man was able to get Anna Jay up. Harley Cameron and Penelope Ford had fought to the back at this point, so they were gone. And she was able to hit the face descent, and Anna Jay kind of like took it, like she landed on her knees and then fell over, which is a little bit weird. But Megan Bayne did win this match as expected. I don't think anyone thought that Anna Jay was going to win this match. It was a little awkward at times, but you gotta get the women on TV so they can get some reps and actually like really do this. But overall, it was an all right match. I'm guessing this is going to be over, and we're going to see what Megan Bayne's going to be doing next. Do you have any thoughts on this match?
No, it was a decent match. It was, waiting to see where Mega Man goes next from this.
I'm guessing.
I don't think this is going to last very much longer.
No, I think it's over now because now she's beaten Anna Jay twice now. So I think it's over. Mm-hmm. Just in time for Double or Nothing to do something somewhere. I don't know. We'll find out.
She's everywhere.
Everywhere. Next up, we stay next to the ring and we get Nigel still on commentary, and he's giving a little spiel about FTR and what he was going to do and what he wasn't going to do. Ultimately, he decided that he's going to take FTR up on their offer. And at Double or Nothing, we're going to get Daniel Garcia and Nigel McGuinness versus FTR. It should be a really good match because Nigel, I don't care how long he says he's retired. I don't care what he does. We saw him in the ring. He lost a step for 30 seconds and then got it right back.
Yeah.
So that should be a fun one. We'll see that next week. And then we go on to Kyle Fletcher versus AR Fox with Don Callis on commentary. I have a few match highlights. I did like this match. I enjoyed it. But if we're going to be real, AR Fox tried his best. He was able to get some offense in, but there was never a point where he had like an extended bout of offense on his side. He would get a couple moves in, and then Kyle Fletcher would be able to cut him off immediately. I mean, if we were starting at the very beginning, like as soon as the bell rang, Fletcher kicked AR Fox's head off immediately.
Mm-hmm.
There was a point where we got a Michinoku driver from Kyle Fletcher, and that thing looked disgusting. Like it might have been like the picture perfect Michinoku driver. I thought AR Fox landed on his head for a little bit, but it looked really good. He did that. Kyle Fletcher, of course, hit his leg lariat into the brainbuster, and he got the win. Again, to be expected. As much as we love AR Fox, you definitely don't expect him to lose. You don't expect him to win to Kyle Fletcher right now. Kyle Fletcher's on a hot streak, so we'll see where he goes next. Do you have any thoughts on this match before we move on?
That was a fun match, man. And of course, like still, like AR Fox is showing out. He's been showing out like consistently every week now.
He's at that point right now, right, where a lot of AEW wrestlers come in, they have really good showings, they lose, but they have really good showings and loss, right? Mm-hmm. So he's getting invested in. I know people are, myself included, it hurts seeing AR Fox lose a lot, but he's on TV and he's getting these opportunities and he's here every week. That is a win.
Yeah. But I'm just gonna say, like, if you look at the history of every time like somebody is constantly on TV and then takes the losses like that, or brings out spectacular matches, they always get rewarded every single time. Mm-hmm. The guy he wrestled, literally, like Kyle Fletcher, was that guy not too long ago.
And look at him now, former Ring of Honor TV champion.
Mm-hmm.
Had probably one of the best feuds with Ospreay that Ospreay's had in AEW.
Yep.
Like a lot of really good things, and it comes with being on TV all the time. That's it. I mean, win, lose, whatever. You're on TV, you're improving. That's what matters.
Yep. And the main thing is you're on TV.
That is the main point. You are wrestling on TV. Not everyone can say they're doing that right now. Next up after this, we got a little video package about Hangman and Ospreay. So we got a little bit of history between their current rivalry because of the Owen. And we also had an interesting thing where we had fans get interviewed to see who they wanted to win the match. I'm pretty sure it was like 50-50. I think the one that was funny was there was these two women that were standing out, right? And one of them was like, he burned a house down, and the other one was like, Hangman has done nothing wrong. And I was like, oh, that's the internet. They brought the internet in real life. But that was a really interesting little video package to see. So we got to see them. We got to see like a lot of fans get to participate a little bit in their picks. There's not really much more to that. So we're just going to move on to our next match. I am not going to call them RPG Vice. But we had Roppongi Vice and Lance Archer versus the trio that we talked about earlier, Brody King, Bandito, and Tomohiro Ishii. What a random team.
Yeah, right?
Roppongi Vice they are now officially RPG Vice now, by the way. Mm-hmm. They even changed the song and everything. It's like RPG power, like something greed and power. I don't remember what the first one was, but whatever. The notes that I have on this match is the very first note is I need more of Lance Archer versus Brody King, best of 100 series. They're beating the hell out of each other every single chance they could.
Yes,
which was a fact. We need to see that a lot more often.
I agree.
This match broke down like a few different times, so I couldn't even get a chance to get like good notes. But this was a really good match. I could talk about the ending though. Rocky Romero was in the ring by himself with Brody King, Ishii, and Bandito, and they jumped him. Like they basically beat the hell out of him for like a good 30 seconds, and then Brody King hit him with the Cannonball Senton and was able to win with the Cannonball Senton, which was, I guess, it's not really surprising. Like I don't think we expected them to win, I don't think, but overall good match. After the match, Don Callis' family immediately jumped on the winning team. Like they took them down, they were getting beat down. Don Callis was very happy. Like, oh, who cares about we lost the match? It's about who's standing at the end.
Yeah.
And then we get the music of the Outrunners, and the Outrunners come out because they have beef with the Roppongi Vice. They start fighting. They're able to get Roppongi Vice up out of the ring, Don Callis' family up out of the ring, and the Outrunners stand tall. We should be getting this match soon, and this one screams to me a very good match to be on the buy-in for Double or Nothing.
Oh, yeah.
Roppongi Vice vs. Outrunners, put it on there. Let's get this moving. You have any thoughts on this match in the segment?
The match was fun. Like you said, completely fucking random. Random three guys.
Mm-hmm.
Versus the, non-Callis family. But, yeah, I thought it was fun. And, of course, like, you need a third guy? We got you. Get Ishii.
They tapped him like, Ishii, look, I know you're part of Chaos, and I know you're going to be in them feature tags once the best Super Juniors goes back to like A Block and B Block days. But can you come out here, please? Just first class. We'll get you out of here. We'll get you out here. You'll wrestle. You'll get a win, and then you can go back home. Whatever. Just make sure you come here. That's probably what happened.
He's like, I got you.
He's like, all right. Next up, we had a backstage segment with Paragon and Lexi Nair. I might get a little critical here because we'll talk about it. We talked about it earlier in the podcast. Adam Cole was saying that he has a huge target on his back. And I'm like, from where? No one has challenged you other than Claudio. Like, no one. So I'm very curious to see who's going to face next, but that's not really what's important here. What's important is Grizzly Young Vets came out and interrupted Paragon again. They called Paragon soft. They said they had gone soft, and they basically just are jokes now. And Kyle O'Reilly was very upset. He was upset about that. Like, you can call me whatever you want, but I'm not a baby. Which led Grizzly Young Vets to call them, soft and stupid. So we have confirmed that we're going to be getting Grizzly Young Vets versus Paragon, Kyle O'Reilly and Rod Strong on Collision. And this Collision is this Thursday. So we're going to be seeing that. I know who I want to win that match. They're probably not going to, though. Adam Cole will be on commentary, so we'll see that. And I'm guessing at some point we'll get whoever is going to be challenging Adam Cole is going to be there. But yeah, he has a lot of competitors, a lot of people gunning after him, but he doesn't.
Yeah, like no one's showed up so far.
That we just had that one Claudio match, and that was it.
Yep.
This leads me to a conversation that I want to have with you, Proffitt.
Okay.
Because we kind of teased it a little bit earlier. You said it, and I'm going to take what you said. The TNT title might be cursed.
Yeah, it might be.
Not the way that people are thinking like, oh, people get injured all the time when they have it. No. It takes all the charisma out of anyone who holds the title. Because we had Daniel Garcia, who had a good reign at the end, but realistically was not all there all the time. And we have Adam Cole, who hasn't really done anything with the belt either. And we're not expecting him to wrestle every week, but something. Same thing happened with Jack Perry. Like, Jack Perry couldn't really do a lot with it before, and we've had a lot of issues with the TNT Championship. And I think they need to figure that out, because it's starting to get a little weird that we're not seeing that title often. Like, they established as an open challenge title, and then have flip-flopped on it a lot, and that's weird. They need to establish what that title is outside of being just a television championship that doesn't get defended on television consistently.
Yeah, that's what's weird. Like I thought it okay, it's a TNT title, which is a television championship. That explains itself, right? Every week on television, that shit should be defended in some way, shape, or form. It just, whatever it was, somewhere along the line, it lost its identity. Mm-hmm. So I don't know.
They can't really get rid of it either because it's the network title, right? Like they can't just get rid of it, but they need to figure something out, because the TNT Championship over last year has not. It's great to see it on Adam Cole, but we definitely expected him to be like more in it, right? And he hasn't been, just like Garcia hasn't. And we got to keep that same energy. Just because some people might like Adam Cole more, you have to keep the same energy, because this is exactly how Garcia's title reign started, where he wasn't doing anything with the title.
Actually, I think Garcia's was... So, the main problem with Garcia's title run was that he was doing everything else but defending his title.
So is Adam Cole right now. I mean, he hasn't been in another match since, but he ain't defending it. I mean, we'll see what happens next week. Like, I'm guessing we'll get the challenger, because they wanted him on commentary, Adam Cole on commentary, so we'll see how that goes.
Yep. However, is there anybody else with Grizzled Young Vets in a Ring of Honor?
I don't think so. I think it's just them.
Yeah, I think it's just them.
What if this is Hammerstone?
Hammerstone? Just out of nowhere?
I don't know. We'll find out on Thursday. They definitely need to establish another challenger for the TNT Championship and just move from there. Next up, we had Blake Christian versus Speedball and Mike Bailey. And let me tell you, I ain't got nothing for the match. Speedball hit that spinning heel kick for the win, as expected. Yeah. After the match was very interesting. Speedball gets on the microphone and calls out Kazuchika Okada, saying that the weather's really nice in Chicago, which apparently I don't think it was. I think it was like raining or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But he said, "Let's Okada come out here and bring your Continental Championship and let's make it rain." And Okada said something like nonsensical. He's like, "I always prove it, bitch," and everyone laughed and everyone got excited. But after Roosh comes out with Dralistico and they attack Speedball Mike Bailey, Roosh is still very mad about that money, which is understandable.
Yep.
I'm also surprised this hasn't happened before, because they've had these matches a lot, and we've never had anyone get mad that they got screwed out of the money.
Yeah, no, exactly. No one's actually like gotten mad and went after the people that actually won, or anything.
Yeah, so it's nice. It's nice to see Roosh doing it, because logically, if you made me lose $100,000, we gotta fight. Like, well, there's no choice.
Yeah.
So interesting to see. But this also means, again, after the Roosh stuff, we're also getting Speedball versus Okada. I'm guessing at Double or Nothing, but we'll see where that goes. Next up, we had a very motivated Jon Moxley in the back. He was saying that he can't be broken, that he's made of something stronger than iron, stronger than steel, stronger than gold that everyone wears around their waist. He said that Anarchy in the Arena would be better than this fake, foolish shit that people pretending they are what they're not. Moxley also said that Gabe Kidd works for him and professionals work for Jon Moxley. And I was like, oh, so he did get taken in. At least for a little bit. And Moxley keeps on yelling. He's very motivated, very passionate. And he walks off, bloody and all. And then Gabe Kidd looks in the camera and says, "Abandon all hope." And that is the end of that promo segment. Proffitt, do you have any thoughts?
No, I think it was a pretty good promo, man. Like, breathes a little bit more life into the Death Riders thing. And, again, like, Gabe Kidd looked like part of the Death Riders during that promo.
Yeah, he did, bro. Looked like he fit just along with him.
Yeah, like, he was just plucked from New Japan and he was a Death Rider the whole time. They just plucked him out of New Japan and just put him right in AEW. He fits right in.
He's definitely going to be going. Like, I don't want New Japan to I guess, quote unquote, lose anyone else. But Gabe Kidd definitely feels like he's AEW coded at this point. Yeah. Like, in the next couple of years, he's probably going to be over there.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm. And Japan will miss him, but what can you do at this point? Next up, we had a Chicago Street Fight, which is the match of the night, by the way. Easily. There was not anything even close to this match that happened on Collision. We had Big Bill and Brian Keith, the Learning Tree, versus Toa Leona and Bishop Khan, Gates of Agony. Jesus Christ, what did not happen in this match? So much was going on. It got crazy very quickly. They basically started the match out of the ring.
Mm-hmm.
Within the first minute, we had street signs, steel steps were being used, a wet floor sign, a traffic cone, a kendo stick that got broken into two pieces that they started using to beat each other with, and a barbed wire 2x4. All within the first 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, it was crazy. But there was a point where if you're on HBO, and I know people are very sensitive about HBO, we'll get there pretty soon. When you came back from commercial break, you just saw Bounty Hunter in a trash can hanging upside down from a turnbuckle. So he got beat up in there. Big Bill had bricks that he tried to use that didn't work. Big Bill got pounced over the announcer's desk, and Nigel also decided to fly over the barricade. Meanwhile, Tony Schiavone was just sitting at his desk like nothing was going on. Not even trying to pretend like anything's going on around him.
Yeah.
What else happened in this match? Jesus Christ, so much happened. Bounty Hunter tried to use the trash can on Toa Leona, and that did not work. And then eventually got splashed over a barricade onto the ring bell desk. Did not look great. The thing that was the worst for me is Bounty Hunter got his do-rag ripped off, and I could tell. I looked at his scalp. His scalp was greased. He had just got his shit twisted, like within like the last like day.
Oh no.
So there was a point where he after he got the do-rag ripped off, he laid on the apron and just covered his head.
Oh. And
I get it, bro. Look, when you get the fresh shit going on, you can't, especially in a match like that, it's gonna get messed up. It didn't though, thankfully. Like, he knows what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, on to the serious stuff that happened. Toa Leona also got big booted through two tables that were on the ground that got set up earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Bounty Hunter hit Bishop Khan over the head straight up with drywall like 3 times. And then Khan got chokeslammed onto those broken pieces of drywall for the 1, 2, 3. And the Learning Tree won this very vicious match. I know I skipped over a couple things because it was a lot happened this match. But do you have any thoughts on this match?
Oh, this match was fun, man. Like, it was super fun. Plus, everybody now seeing the Gates of Agony are good. So my book did what it had. They did that series of matches between them and the Learning Tree brought the Gates of Agony up even more.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully this leads to them just continuing to be on TV more and stuff like that, and not left out.
If only there was a set of tag team championships that they can win.
If only.
That weren't being held hostage for a year.
Yeah, by two people that you're going to talk about later.
You have anything else on this before we move on?
No, I'm good, man.
So after the match of the night, we had a video package about Mina Shirakawa versus Toni Storm. And I know it feels like it's a very low-hanging fruit to talk about, but a lot of Mina was doing the voiceover for the promo, by the way. And Mina was talking a lot about, like, oh, yeah, last time we were in the ring together, we were distracted. There was someone in our way. Now it's just us. We wrestled together in Japan. I like you. Now it's just for the title. And it was like a heavy-handed, it felt like, we're here. There's no one else in between us anymore. No more distractions. We can just fight. And people definitely took that. I mean, granted, this is the one where I'm not like, oh, everyone's trying to overreact. Like, they kind of beat it over the head with us in this promo package.
Yeah.
So it's either, again, it's 50-50. Is it easy? Is it either yes or no? So obviously it's 50-50. But it's either Mariah's going to show up or not.
Right.
And that's really where we are. That's kind of what I took away from this. Do you have anything about that promo package or video package?
No, I thought it was good. No, I'm not going to say what I'm going to say because then I'll be talking about that other company.
Ooh.
But I'll say Mina is doing something that others in the other company aren't doing, and she's doing it right away the second she got to America.
Oh, we talked about it in the podcast before. For those who don't know, I will just say it. We don't have to go super deep into it. English promos in America.
Yeah. Like Mina is immediately doing it. She's immediately adopting it, and there's certain people that have been in, the other company for years and just don't do it. So, just saying. Some people put in the effort, others don't.
Yeah. I mean, we see it, right? We see Mina speaking English all the time. So,
yep.
And they even went the extra mile because they had like little subtitles on the bottom just in case. So, yeah. Next up, the last thing that a lot of people saw on Collision.
Yep.
We had the tribute to Steve Mongo McMichael. This was pretty short. Tony was there. They said some nice things about Mongo. Ric Flair had his entrance and came out, and he kind of stayed on track, right? Like, I don't think he didn't go too far out. Like, the only thing he said was, like, Chicago's a great wrestling town. That was really it. But then they kind of talked about Mongo. They talked about his battle against ALS, and they announced that they are partnering with the Les Turner ALS Foundation. And there were, there are barcodes. So we're not going to put them on screen for us because I feel like that would be kind of like malpractice. We shouldn't do that because you shouldn't do that. But they're on AEW TV. They're on YouTube. If you would like to donate, you definitely can. I feel like it's a simple one. Do you have any thoughts on that segment?
No, I thought it was nice. I remember like him wrestling at WCW, how he started out as a commentator and then, something happened and he went from commentator to one of the Four Horsemen.
Which is an insane story, by the way.
Yeah. And hey, like, he was pretty good, right? Like, it wasn't like he sucked. He was actually pretty good. So,
yeah.
But, it was, so I remember all that, but, yeah, it was a good segment. It was decent.
For this, a lot of people didn't see this. I think even as of right now, at the time we're recording on Sunday night, this still isn't really up for people to legally view, unless you have Triller. So yeah, they AEW and TNT, mainly TNT, had a broadcasting error, and fucking Black Adam came on 30 minutes early. Black Adam, of all things.
Yeah, the Rock killed it, right? He paid TNT to stop it, to put on his shitty movie.
Yep. Paid TNT. Warner Bros. Discovery totally canceled everything for AEW. That's what happened because they have The Rock now. I guess I don't know. That's not what happened. They just had an error. It happens.
Yeah, it was just an error. Shit happens.
Yeah. So I'm gonna give y'all, if you're listening to this podcast, I'll give you a heads up on what happened, so you can tell people that you heard it first before anyone else sees it. We had a match between Crew and the Sons of Texas. The winner of this match will go on to wrestle the Hurt Syndicate at Double or Nothing. I don't actually have any notes for this match. I just said that I'm very frustrated that Crew lost. I feel like they shouldn't have. I also kind of went on a tirade in my notes about why Dustin and Sammy are still Ring of Honor Tag Champions and why is Dustin still holding the 6-man titles. I also put the dates on here. Dustin won the 6-man titles on July 20th and won the Ring of Honor Tag titles August 17th. Mm-hmm. So we're getting close to a year that those have been held hostage. I also said that I thought that more teams should have those titles. Like I said, I kind of went off in my notes. Nothing about the match. I said Sons of Texas win the match, and they are going to get their tag title shot against the Hurt Syndicate at Double or Nothing. They will get beat up. It's not really going to be that big of a deal, but it is frustrating that it could have just been Crew. Because even Dustin and Sammy aren't even putting up their tag titles. It's not even title for title. It's just Syndicate. So we all know what's going to happen. Like, Sons of Texas aren't winning.
No, not at all.
God, no. That's the thing. The match was all right. Like, the match wasn't bad. It was just, it's a whole who gets brought up from Ring of Honor, who doesn't thing, and it's a whole thing we don't have to talk about. We will talk about that eventually, but not right now. You have any thoughts on this match that I didn't talk about?
I didn't get to watch the match.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. The rest of this, you didn't get to see any of this.
Nope.
The one thing, you can't even find this on YouTube. That's the sad part either, because they didn't even post it on YouTube. Like, nothing. If there's anything that you need to watch from this last half hour, it's this segment that I'm about to talk about right now. Because we got Kris Statlander and Willow Nightingale backstage. First is Kris by herself. She is the one that's being interviewed by Lexi Nair. Lexi Nair is asking a question. No one knows what the question is. No one cares. Because Kris saw Willow and yelled over for Willow. And then Willow got very upset that Statlander called her over. They started arguing. They were arguing their asses off. Where Willow's like, oh yeah, you know, you're friends with the Death Riders, and Kris Statlander's like, they're not my friends, what are you talking about? And then Willow's like, well, you have Wheeler Yuta, that's your best friend. And Kris is like, no, he used to be. So they're kind of arguing back and forth. Eventually, Willow says that she has business with the Death Riders. And then Willow grabs the back of Chris's hair. And then Kris is like, once you're done with the Death Riders, you'll come see me. And they split off and they walked away. Very interesting segment. Willow is coming with all the smoke. Willow's never been this mad in AEW, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
Yep, Marina might die on Anarchy Arena.
Oh yeah, it's over for her. Willow almost beat up Wheeler Yuta, so it's over. Next up, we had our main event, which was Powerhouse Hobbs versus Wheeler Yuta. There's not really too much going on for this match. Powerhouse Hobbs beat up Wheeler Yuta for the first few minutes pretty consistently. Up until Hobbs was up on the second rope and he tried to do like a back body drop or something from up there. Wheeler Yuta slid out and then threw Powerhouse Hobbs onto the mat, so he was kind of hurt for a little bit. Then Wheeler Yuta rips off the not the knee brace, but the knee pad, and there's a bunch of tape on Powerhouse Hobbs' knee. So Wheeler Yuta starts going after the knee for the rest of the match. It does not work because Hobbs was on one leg like Aaron Gordon was today against OKC, and decided to still be that guy and was able to beat Wheeler Yuta on one leg. After the match, because, you know, the Death Riders never help with Wheeler Yuta's matches. They're never out there for Yuta. Marina comes out after the match, after Wheeler Yuta gets beat. And she chop blocks Powerhouse Hobbs. They start beating him up. And then Willow comes out. And Willow gets all over Marina Shafir. And Wheeler Yuta made a mistake by grabbing the back of Willow's head. Willow smacked the taste out of his mouth. Powerhouse Hobbs hit the spine buster on him. And then Willow about to hit the Babe with the powerbomb on Yuta, but he got saved by Marina. And Collision. Proffitt, do you have any thoughts on the main event?
I wish I could have watched it.
Yeah. There are people that still crashing out about that right now, so.
Yeah, but, you know, sounded like a overall, you know, pretty solid event. We already knew it was going to happen when it was Hobbs and Yuta, so.
Yeah.
Ain't no way Yuta was winning. He was getting killed by Hobbs.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he tried. Definitely didn't work, though. Do you have any thoughts on anything as a whole before we wrap this one up? This has been the week of AEW, a pretty good week overall. As much as I wasn't a fan of Collision as much this week, it's still overall fun show.
Yeah, I still like my favorite match of Collision was the Chicago Street Fight. That was probably the match of the show right there.
Oh yeah, easily.
And so both shows were fun. They were pretty fun, in my opinion. And this week of AEW, pretty solid. Next week's gonna go crazy though.
I mean, we're going to the go home shows for Double or Nothing.
Yeah,
Double or Nothing's in by this time next week. Double or Nothing will have ended, and we'll see what happens.
Right.
All right, man. That's it. It's time for us to wrap this podcast up.
Let's wrap it up.
And as always, if you made it this far, thank you so much for listening to this podcast. This has been a really good one. We kind of went a little tangent crazy, mostly my fault because I have problems. So definitely just if you want to hear more of our tangents, you want to hear more about what we talk about, make sure that you follow all of us on Blue Sky. You can follow the entire podcast at TGPW Podcast. You can follow Proffitt at Proffitt, Proffitt. You can follow me at Shikoku. I never spell it. Don't worry about it. It's on the screen. You don't have to worry about it. We talk a lot about pro wrestling. We talk a lot about video games. Talk about a lot about music, anime. A lot of things are on there. So definitely make sure you're following us if you want to keep engaged with us. See what we're talking about. See what's going on in our worlds. Also, if you aren't able to listen to us on YouTube, if you're like one of the few people who can't, make sure you're following us on Spotify. If you look up TGPW Podcast, you'll be able to find this podcast on there. You can hear all of our stuff on the go. So definitely just take us around. If you need an assignment, you need some noise, definitely put us on. If you want to hear one of the best wrestling podcasts of all time, also make sure you listen to us because we bat 1,000 on this podcast. So just make sure you listen to us on Spotify. Again, make sure you're following us on Blue Sky. And we'll have fun. Proffitt, tell them about the YouTubes.
All right, guys, since this is probably where you're listening on the YouTube, once again, thank you. So, if you liked what you heard, tap that like button. Helps us out, helps get the podcast to more people, and, lets everybody know that, people with similar taste to you also will listen to the, it'll show them the podcast too. So they'll also be able to listen to one of the best AEW podcasts out there. Also, subscribe, hit the bell button so you get our content whenever it drops, because you not only get one podcast, you get three. You get this one, the Pro Wrestling Podcast, which is off the top rope. You get the Command Grab, which is our gaming show where we talk about all the games that we're playing, and the OVA where we talk about all the animes that we're watching. And so once again, thank you very much, and we got to get out of here, so we're out.
Peace.